Everybody that's been on the billboard that they didn't pay for already. Everybody on the billboard. Oh, it was only one.
That was with other people.
Yeah, but you ain't paid for it though. I was driving on that bridge. I said, "Look at this." I know him.
Look at this bullshit. Now he on the billboard.
They gonna let him keep that when they take that down. I showed him like, "Can I get that?" He said, "Put that in my backyard." That don't happen every day.
Every time I drive by that, I forget that it was there, and I'm like, "Why is that?" Oh, okay. It's still, honestly, it's still weird. So.
It's the Bishop
and Oz,
and we're glad to be back once again.
Yes,
and we are excited about our guest today. Oh my goodness, we are so excited. We are being graced by
celebrities.
I have to say he's a good friend.
Yes,
good friend. Rondrell Moore, and I thank you for coming and being with us. So today we're gonna just jump right in it.
Thank you for having me, buddy.
Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure. It is a pleasure.
Yes.
And we're gonna hear a whole lot from him today because we're gonna give him the flow and just let him just do whatever he got to do. And the reason why we're gonna do that because we're talking about life decisions today.
Yes.
And Rondrell has I would consider a great job. He is the anchor here, a local anchor in our city. I would say but anyways, he does a great job. But I know that didn't just fall in his lap. True. It had to be because you made certain decisions. And I feel like it's pressed upon us, even as the Bishop and I, to help people that may be at a place where they're trying to make some life decisions.
Yeah. You
may not be happy where you are, and you're just like, well, I don't know what to do next. So hopefully we'll be able to say something today that will encourage you, that will inspire you to take that next step.
Yeah.
So Rondrell, starting out, again, welcome.
Thank you.
Growing up, what did you want to become? Who did you want to be?
Such a wonderful question. So I had some dreams that were, I feel like they were pretty standard. I knew I wanted to make money. I wanted to have a job that, influenced people, but I really wanted to do something where I got to use my voice because I enjoyed speaking. I was the kid in class that when they said, okay, time to give a speech, I was like, yeah, me. Everybody else was like, no, okay, Rondrell, you go ahead and do it. But I love to speak. I love to sing. I love to, communicate with people. So I knew it was something like that. And so I didn't really have a clear clue of it until I actually got to college.
Okay.
Yeah. Journalism, ironically, wasn't necessarily at the top of my list. I was thinking more so maybe law or psychology, actually.
Wow.
But we did a project in college in one of my classes where we had to do something similar to this, where we had to pretend to be anchors at the time. And, I sat in that seat and I said, good evening. And what did it say? Something got a hold of me. Something got a hold of me. And so I actually took a journalism class. I'd never taken it before, so I didn't even know what I was missing.
Wow.
And in that course of taking that class and being able to tell other people's stories and to be able to shine a spotlight on people who normally don't get that, I said, this is it. This is it. I'm not only able to lift my voice, but I'm able to lift other people's voices and lift them up and give them a space to speak, the disenfranchised, the victims, those people, to let them speak. And so it kind of became like okay, we're going to do this now.
Okay. Now, I got a question. Now, once you made that decision that this is what you wanted to be, what decision that you made that you knew I got to stay away from this, because if I'm going to be the face of something, I got to make sure I stay out of these type of lights and and things of that. So like, what did you stay away from to make sure to guarantee you get to where you are today?
That's a very good question. I think it started even before I decided what I was going to do. Growing up, you have a lot of choices. You have a lot of options. You have a lot of things that you can do when you have friends and when you have people that are doing certain things and going certain areas. And I'm very grateful that my upbringing, my mother, my father, the church, some of those things were just cut off right from the top.
All right.
They were just cut off right from the top.
Cut the head off of
So, drugs, it wasn't even an option.
Yeah.
In our house, it really wasn't. And, not to say that people didn't have other choices even more pervasive around them, but I was very blessed in my household. That wasn't a thing. Alcohol was not a thing. It's funny because when people say, "Oh, what's your curfew?" I don't even know that we had a curfew because we just weren't going to be out. When the lights were out, like when it got dark, we were just inside. There wasn't no, Mom, I'm going to be home by 12 o'clock. It's like, where were you before then? Like, you were supposed to be home by 7, So it's not one of those things where I felt like we didn't have the freedom to go. That was just how we were. And our friends and the people that we were friends with and our families, friends, associates, they were kind of in the same space. So, we were taught the Bible, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right, honor your father and your mother. And then the parents were taught, train a child in the way that he should go, and when he grows old, he will not depart from it. And so all of those skills and that template that's just what we were. So
Amen.
A lot of things weren't even choices, if that makes any sense. But it was a choice.
Yeah.
It was a choice. I didn't rebel against it because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I love God so much, and I love, my parents so much that I didn't want to.
All right. I'll take that.
That makes sense.
And he had good sense and he wanted to live.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too.
Because they might have killed you and just like you.
One way or another, one gonna turn out well.
Yeah, that's how that works, There were some decisions that, I thought about doing. As you said, a lot of stuff really wasn't an option. It was so much so I remember growing up, and I think I may have told the story in the past, but it was a young man said that when his family members was dealing with coke, and he said, they had OD'd on coke. I said, man, that's why I ain't gonna never drink coke. I'm gonna drink Pepsi.
You're so silly.
I was dead serious.
Because you didn't have no idea what it was.
I had no idea what coke was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is coke? Because
that just wasn't what you was around.
Right. And so that's just kind of, the life that we live. So my mother had already made a decision for me that, that's not going to be one of your avenues. You need to come this way.
Yeah.
Well, it's something similar. They always taught us in school, don't drink and drive, don't drink and drive, don't drink and drive. Well, one time my father was, driving me home and he had, a Sprite, some in the console, whatever I was 7 or 8. And he took a drink out of it. I said, Dad, oh my God.
That's funny.
He was like, he said, oh my God. He said, son, that's not what that means. I was like, but it said don't drink and drive. He said, no, that means alcohol. That means alcohol. I was like, oh, okay. Well, because it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And that's not to say that everything that I wasn't subject or that I didn't see things that were potentially bad choices, people that made bad decisions, things like that. I went to school, I was friends with, I had family members, all those things were there, they were presented. But I really do have to speak to the salvation of God. Those things were not appealing to me.
Yeah, amen.
They honestly were not appealing to me. I really had no desire
to
do those things. And so I would say once I got older and once I got more of the, I guess you could say autonomy, the independence to be able to make those decisions, there were more opportunities for me to make bad choices.
Amen.
And then it became more so about, okay, what are you going to do?
Right.
Even little things like I got an 8 o'clock class on campus. Why did I sign up for this 8 o'clock class? I don't like getting up before 11:30. And there's no mom, there's nobody to come and say time to get up and go to school.
That's the truth.
So it then became, all right, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And it's not a sin to miss a class. It really honestly isn't.
No.
You know, so even from a salvation standpoint, I was in the clear to do it. So then it turned into, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Do I want to pay the price now so that I can reap the benefits later?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I want to enjoy it for now and then have an issue later?
There you go.
And so it was about investing in myself, and you got to invest in yourself.
Amen to that.
You are the biggest investor in yourself that you will ever have, because you know what you can get from it. So I had to decide very early, yeah, this is not going to always be fun, but if I do it now,
amen,
it'll pay off later.
So it transitioned from doing what mom and daddy told me to a lifestyle.
Oh, it had to. It absolutely had to.
Oh, yeah.
Because mom and daddy weren't there.
Amen.
All the time.
Tell my child that all the time. Like, you say you don't like school now.
Yeah.
And you talking about going to college. Mom and daddy ain't going to be there to make you get up and go to class and do all this is your decision.
Yeah.
And there are going to be people there who are doing the opposite.
Oh,
that's
my goodness.
true.
Had all this talk with her.
That's what.
Say, sit down and watch this episode
Right now.
And I mean, you know, there are going to be times where, you know, from an enjoyment standpoint and having fun and, you know, making a social life, it is important to get out and enjoy what you can when you can. But the key is knowing when enough is enough.
Yeah. All right.
And being the word is temperate.
Yeah.
And knowing that, okay, it's time to stop, because I could stay out till 3:00 every night.
Yeah.
Could. But if I've got that 8:00 class,
I got to get my butt to bed, and so I can be up. Amen.
Right.
Hey, that's the truth, though.
right.
That's the truth.
It's
man.
hard, but that's because guess what? When you get older and when you get the job, so the newscast starts every night at 6. If I get there at 6:05,
you in some trouble.
they're not gonna wait for me. They're not gonna say, "Oh yeah, well, you know, we were gonna start topping our news, but let's wait a couple minutes till Rondrell gets here." Sorry, y'all, I'm late. That's not how that works.
All right.
It's not how that works.
And if he ever did that, things is going south.
Very south. Very south. You see me coming in halfway through the show. That would not turn out.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I mean, but again, life decisions, and you know, you sow the seed, you're gonna reap. You know, and I think the problem with a lot of people today is that they don't see sometimes the consequences of those actions. You know, because it's not always immediate. You know, some things is gonna come down the road. If you do this here, you're gonna reap something great. But if you do that there, you know, the train is coming, but it ain't hit you
on the
yet.
tracks.
I'm gonna keep dancing over. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
He said, but it ain't here though. I got time. Really, how much time do we really have?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How much time do you really have? And we talked about this in the past. People are so good at wasting time. They're killing time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's a decision too.
Yes.
And you have to, as the Bible said, redeem the time. You know what I'm saying? We have to, the time that God has given us, do something with it. And one of the best things you can do, as he was saying, is invest in you.
Yes.
Make an investment in you, because you are important. And you have to see yourself as important.
Yep.
Because when you start seeing yourself as important, you begin to do things different.
Yeah.
You won't just do what everybody else is doing, how everybody else is doing it, but you will sit there and do things that you know that are developing you, that's making you into a better person.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, man.
That's so
good
true.
stuff.
And you know, the thing about it is that sometimes I know I can speak for myself. I didn't get it right.
yeah,
I didn't make the right choices, and I've done some things that, you know, I wish if I could go back in the past and do it again, I would definitely do it again. And then there's some things that I would almost say are character traits. I have a tendency to procrastinate. I do, and I know I do.
No.
I see some hands going up behind. You know, I have a tendency to do that, because if I can do it now, I can do it a little bit later. I can do it a little bit later. But then as time goes on, we talk about that investing in yourself. It seemed like a good idea to wait back then, but then the night before the project is due, and you're up until 4:00, 5:00, you know, getting it done, and then just praying that it makes sense that you do that. That's why if you can start younger, and if you can put the pattern of work and the pattern of discipline in your own life, it's only going to benefit you in the future. You know, I don't expect, you know, I have nephews and a niece, and I don't expect them just to start out strong and just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
bed right at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Because that's not how that goes. They
Yeah.
need help from their parents. But if you can take that in, and if you can do that as much as you can, it's only going to help you, and it's only going to benefit.
Yeah. So in other words, give yourself time to grow.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it right off the bat.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make the best decision that's gonna lead you to this great position every single time.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you just gotta give yourself a little bit of rope, I guess. You know.
That's it.
And I'll be the first one to tell you, I did not start off in my younger years making the best decisions.
Oh, no.
I did not. I made a lot of wrong decisions.
Mhm.
All the stuff that he said didn't come by habit. It was all right there in front of me to get it, do it as much as I wanted to. It was appealing to me, but God got a hold of my life as well.
Yeah.
And I changed direction. And I'm just like, man, I'm grateful. I said it before and I say it again, man. I am grateful and thankful for the man that God made me today.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine being any other way right now. I can't see myself out like that, man.
No.
No, I thank God because you got two different potential sources, but the same outcome. Where we all were already here. It's by the grace of God. So it doesn't necessarily matter. And I want to say this to whoever might be listening out there too. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. You may not have had the situations that Tim has had or that I've had or that Jerry has had. You may not have had any of those. You might have had worse, better, whatever, depending on how you look at it. But God is the difference. Jesus is the unifier. He wants us to be one with him. And if we become a part of the body, I'm sorry, I'm preaching. If we become a part of the body. And if you tap into him, that's what makes the difference. But it all starts with you making, what do we say, the choice. You have to make the choice that I can be better than my situation.
Amen.
I don't have to be locked down into what my situation, what my culture, what my authority, what my family, what my identity, whatever it is. I don't have to be locked down into any of that as long as what God says is true is true. I can trust in that.
Man.
So I did not need to go through all that.
That's all right.
This is what's needed. This is what the Bishop and I is all about. We want to make sure that we give people things that's going to help them. Sometimes some people need to be shook up. Sometimes it needs to be smacked in your face and be like, here it is.
Yep.
And so if this is a smacking episode, be smacked.
Yep.
if it's a soothing episode, be soothed. But whatever it is, listen to the voice. I believe that the Lord is speaking to somebody.
Yeah.
And I believe all of us. I thank God that, as he was saying, we didn't always make the best decisions, but we had the grace to grow.
Yes.
Yeah. We had the grace to grow.
And that's important.
You have to, because if you would sit there and kill yourself, I messed up. I ain't no more good. I ain't gonna never be. No. And see, and that's why we're here to tell you, you don't get it all right. You don't. And even today, we still don't get it all right.
Nope.
Right.
But we have to have grace to grow. And I tell people, and then we're gonna get out of here. Anybody that came to Jesus, everybody that came to Jesus, all of them had a deficiency.
That's right.
Right.
When you go to church and you see all these people and cause this is in your mind, they were so perfect. They ain't nothing's wrong with them. That's your mind. I'm not telling you I'm perfect. I'm telling you the reason why I come to Jesus because I have a deficiency.
Hello.
I have an issue. I got a problem. And he's the only one I know that can help me with my problem.
Yeah.
And so that's why we come to church, not because we're perfect, it's because we know somebody that is perfect that's trying to help us with our imperfections.
That's right. That's right.
That's so true.
Right.
But thank you so very much. we could be here all day.
Well,
But this has been very good, and again, we appreciate you so much for taking the time to be with us. Now we want to make sure that not only do you watch this episode, but we got a surprise episode for the next episode. And don't worry, we'll tell you about that later. We got a little game that we want to play with Rondrell. And so don't worry, I promise. You're gonna like this. And so because we care for you. Yes. Lord. But we appreciate Mr. Rondrell Moore coming and being with us. And hopefully one day you'll be able to come back again. And if you ever need us to come and be at the station, you let us know. Just make sure you have put our banner up and stuff. You can't have, we don't have step it, But anyways, make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Please.
Thank you so much once again to Mogul Bound Media for doing all that you do for us. You are appreciated. Thank you for everything. And I think we're done. So this has been the Bishop
and Oz.
Catch you next time. This is the Bishop.